Hello. Welcome to the 29th edition of ENCORE, the Facebook Live platform on which we discuss all things love, marriage, and sex. We are live on YouTube as well as Facebook and on Periscope as well. So however and wherever you are watching us, you are most welcome, and thank you for making the time. They call me Uncle Ebo White. I am a playwright, a novelist, and a publisher of a magazine called Rover Report Monthly. I am also the CEO of Roverman Productions, a Ghanaian live theater production company that produces a play on a quarterly basis at the National Theatre here in Accra. But what is important for this platform is that I am committed to helping you becoming your best self, your best possible self. Once again, thank you very much for joining me, and also please get as many of your friends to join you as possible. The interesting thing today is that we are back to the magnificent edifice that houses MTN in Ghana. We are in the very heart of the MTN building in Accra. Beautiful, beautiful building. And I'd like to say thank you very much to the staff of MTN, and especially to the CEO of MTN, and to congratulate him for winning the Marketing Man of the Year. So, my brother, Ebenezer, congratulations. It's long overdue and richly deserved, richly deserved. And thank you very much for having us here. Oh, there's going to be an interesting thing. The last time we were at the MTN building, we made a promise to those of you who watch us. And if you remember, we welcomed Joel back from his honeymoon. And Joel is a fantastic young man who hosts us and whenever we are here. And he got married. Someone had mercy on him and married him. No, Joel is a wonderful man too, and I'm sure he is blessed to have his wife, and his wife is blessed to have him. And we said that Joel will share with us some of the things he's learning in marriage. So if you know Joel's wife, tell her to log on, because the husband is going to talk about their marriage very soon. And so, Joel, this is just to make you as uncomfortable as possible whilst I go on with the presentation, so that you keep on wondering what is going to come next. For those watching in Accra, my latest play, The Comeback, which had a very successful run at the National Theatre from the 2nd September to the 10th of September 2017, is running again this Sunday, that is 1st October, at the National Theatre. This time, the times are 3 p.m. for students, and that goes at a very reduced rate, and then 7:30 for adults at the National Theatre. This Sunday, that's on the 1st of October. Well, now, if you're on WhatsApp, there's a number. We have a number on the screen, so at the appropriate time, you can ask your question or make a contribution via WhatsApp. Throughout this month, we have been picking a letter of the English alphabet and looking at words that begin with that particular letter, and to study how those words can help us build and sustain great love relationships and marriages. We have already cleared 4 letters. We have done A, B, C, and D. Today we tackle the letter E. And the E words we'll be looking at this afternoon are expectations, experience, exclusive, and emotional. So, if you're ready, shall we begin with E for expectations? It is normal to have expectations. As human beings, we cannot help having expectations. For instance, if you're going to meet somebody you haven't met and have only spoken with over the phone, don't you find yourself coming up with your expectations of what kind of person you are going to meet, what kind of stature, what kind of personality he would be? And then you eventually meet a person and you are either pleasantly surprised because the person exceeds your expectations, or you are disappointed because the person falls short or below your expectations. In the same way, when we are going into marriage, we go with our expectations. The problem is that expectations may be unrealistic, and they always are unilateral. You build the expectations by yourself based on whatever, and your partner, the person who is to deliver those expectations for you, may not even be aware of those expectations. Plus, your partner also comes into the relationship with expectations of his or her own and may not have discussed them with you, so you may not even be aware of what is expected of you. The result, confusion and conflict. You upset your partner is not meeting your expectations, and your partner is also upset that you are not meeting his or her expectations. So, by all means, have your expectations, but make sure they are realistic and be prepared to modify and adjust your expectations as you go along. Here are a few points on how to ensure that your expectations don't stand in the way of helping you build and sustain a great and meaningful love relationship with your spouse. 1, discuss your expectations with your partner and let them share theirs with you. 2, no matter what your expectations are, don't deny or reject the reality. For instance, you have always dreamt of eating at least one meal a day with your spouse. And then you marry, say, a surgeon who keeps crazy schedule. And it is impossible for you to even have a chat at home. What do? You cannot blame him or her that you do not get to eat together. So face the reality. With this partner, you are not going to eat every meal. But whenever the occasion permits, of course, make it happen. 3, check the sources of your expectations. How did you come by those expectations? From reading romantic novels or watching romantic films? From what you saw with your parents or with some couple you admire in church or in the community? Check the sources of your expectations. If they are from romantic novels and movies, then please understand that the key word there is that they are fictional. Be careful what you pick from the world of fiction. And if they are from the examples of other couples, even including your parents, remember that the picture you see of a married couple is never the complete picture, even if you live in the same house with them. So, if, for instance, your friend's husband drops her at the office every day and your husband don't, do not assume that your friend has a better marriage than yours. You never know. You don't have the full picture. 4, accept and appreciate the fact that your relationship is different. My marriage cannot be like yours because I am not married to you and you are not married to me. And your marriage cannot be like mine because you are not married to me. Every relationship is different. So focus on how you and your partner can build and sustain the kind of relationship that brings both of you fulfillment. 5, ignore the expectations that other people impose on you. If you give people the chance, they will tell you what kind of marriage they expect you to have. But don't mind them. You focus on building your own relationship. 6, be patient. Building a great relationship or a great marriage happens over a period of time and happens with the right input of effort and commitment. Well, let me tell you a story that would illustrate this quite clearly, hopefully. When I was a boy, when I was in primary school, my friends and I decided that we wanted to build our own football pitch. We were going to build our own stadium. It was just a pitch, really. We had this big, flat patch of land, and we decided we were going to turn it into a football pitch. So we cleared the land, we cut the grass very low, we put in the lines and then painted the lines with white paint, and then we put in the goal post. So it looked beautiful. Except that as I looked at the pitch, I realized something was missing. So I picked a hole and started digging or clearing the grass in front of the goalpost. One of my friends saw what I was doing and screamed and said, Kwabena, what are you doing? And I said, haven't you seen what happens, what pertains in every football pitch? Haven't you seen that the space in front of the goalpost is always bare? And my friends burst into laughter. And they said, Kwabena, that comes with time. That place is not bare because somebody weeded it. It comes because it's been used. It didn't make sense to me then, but 2 weeks after we had started using the pitch, the space right in front of the goalpost, within the 6-yard box, for each of the goalposts was bare. The grass was gone. It comes with time. What's the lesson here? Marriages become great with commitment of the couple and over time. Marriages are not born great. With the right commitment and attitude of both parties in the marriage, a marriage becomes more beautiful, but with time. That's why sometimes older couples seem like brothers and sisters. Have you noticed that? They begin to even look alike, and they ask one of them a question. When the other party is not there, the other party comes, asks the same question. They will answer the same thing to you. That's what happens. 7, understand that there's a difference between courtship or dating and marriage. If you expect your marriage to be an extension of the bliss of courtship, then you are in for a rude disappointment. Marriage is very different from courtship. Somebody has said that if we kept up the show we did when we were courting, we'll all go broke. Now, shall we? Somebody here, the only person saying that is very true happens to be the only person here who does not even have a woman in his life yet. It tells you people often don't know what they are talking about. Shall we go on to the second E word, and that is E for experience. People say that it is better to marry someone with experience, and my question is, what kind of experience? Does a person who has been in multiple relationships and had sexual encounters with multiple partners make a better spouse than the one who has not been in any experience, who had not had any experience? The answer again is it depends. The problem with having experience is that you may find yourself comparing your spouse with your ex. That is not fair to your spouse, and you are not doing yourself any favors. I hear people in favor of having experience say practice makes perfect. Well, not always. If that were the case, why do football teams sack their coaches when the results don't go their way? Because they practice every day. The truth is that not all practice makes perfect. Some practice makes you worse. At any rate, marriage is not a one-night stand. It is for a lifetime. So no matter whether you or your partner have experience or not, marriage now offers you the right environment to get the best possible experience under the best possible circumstances. Don't blow it. Let me give you a few suggestions on dealing with experience or the lack of it. Here they are. 1, don't spite your partner for his or her past. Don't use your partner's past against him or her. I've heard men who are married to women who used to be very active sexually before they got married. They've called their wives prostitutes. Now that is terrible. She may have been sexually active in the past, but she's by no means a prostitute. She's your wife, and she deserves your respect. 2, be willing to learn and unlearn no matter how much experience you have. You know, sometimes some of the people who have been very, very active sexually in marriage turns out to be lousy lovers. They don't know thing, but they think they do. And sometimes they fall short and cannot believe that. 3, make a distinction between the right kind of experience and emotional garbage. If your past experiences have scarred you, that is emotional garbage. Don't bring that into your current relationship. 4, give yourself the chance to help each other become a better lover. And 5, never, never, please never compare your current partner with your exes. Never do that. Now, the next E word is E for exclusive. E for exclusive. Many marriages are failing because one party in the relationship does not understand that marriage is an exclusive relationship. If you don't like that level of exclusivity, then please don't get married. There's no better example of the tragic consequences of failing to keep your marriage exclusive than the case of Lady Diana and her husband, Prince Charles. In an interview months before her tragic death 20 years ago, Lady Diana said, quote, "Our marriage was crowded," end of quote. We all need to work hard to keep our marriages exclusive. As a married man, I know that that is not easy to do, but we have no choice but to make it so. So here are a few points on how to keep your marriage exclusive. 1, nobody can and should mean more to you than your spouse. That means that your concern and attention for your spouse must be higher than your concern and attention for any other person, including your children and your parents. 2, don't give a member of the opposite sex the impression that he or she means more to you than your spouse by your actions or statements. 3, always allow your spouse to determine how far you can go with a member of the opposite sex. If your spouse is not comfortable with your closeness with a member of the opposite sex, don't fight your spouse. Just review that relationship and tone it down. 4, don't praise a member of the opposite sex to your spouse or when your spouse is within earshot, especially if the compliments you are giving that person is the kind of compliments you have never given your spouse. In other words, don't say in the presence of your husband or to his hearing, oh, look at John. As for John, he dresses well. He's a proper gentleman. When you've never commented on your husband's dress. And don't say to your wife or to her hearing, oh, that's Alice. I like the way she does her hair. It is a no. When you do that, you are opening the door to your relationship and you are destroying exclusivity in your relationship. 5, don't call another person with the same endearment you use for your spouse. If you call your spouse darling, then note, darling has been ruled out your vocabulary from that time on and from your lexicon. Nobody else can be darling to you. If you call your husband or your wife sweetheart, then I'm telling you, sweetheart has been taken. It's been copyrighted. So don't use it for any other person. 6, in a relationship, time means love, commitment, and importance. This is what I mean. If you spend a lot of time talking with me, either on the phone or on social media or in person, you are communicating that you love me. Let me be a little bit more direct. If you are married and you are giving a member of the opposite sex more attention on the phone, on social media, or in person than your spouse, then you are having an affair. Whether you are having sex with that person or not, you are having an affair. I'm sure I've just offended somebody. But if you're offended by that statement, then you're not doing well in your marriage. You're not treating your partner well. You are cheating on your partner. 7, if you find yourself having to hide your calls and emails and chats with members of the opposite sex from your spouse, including some pictures that you don't want anyone to see, then you're also cheating. And you know you are cheating. That is why you are keeping that secretive. Remember, if you cannot keep an exclusive relationship, marriage is not for you. Don't waste anybody's time. Well, I think we have just a little time for one more E word. So let me squeeze in the last E word. E for emotions. Marriage is not a financial relationship nor financial arrangement. It is not an economic relationship nor an economic arrangement. Marriage is not even just a physical relationship. Marriage is in large part an emotional relationship. The currency of marriage is emotions. So if you are not meeting the emotional needs of your spouse, you are failing in marriage. There are men who say, oh, I do everything for my wife, but she's not happy. Well, they are genuinely confused by that. One man even told me, I provide very richly and generously for my wife and even for her parents, but she's never happy. Well, the problem is you are meeting financial and economic and even social needs in a relationship where your primary duty is to meet the emotional needs. If meeting the emotional needs of your spouse is not your priority, then nothing you do in the relationship matters that much. I know I have been hard with some aspects in this presentation, but I think I owe it to you to keep it as real as I can. So please don't get put off by anything I have said in this presentation. I know that for many young people, there aren't anyone speaking into your lives. If that is your case, then let me be the one who speaks into your life. Well, I would like to stop here to take your questions. But once again, thank you very much for the time. So let the questions come in. But before the questions come in, Joel, let Joel come on camera, please. Let Joel come on camera. And while Joel is coming on camera, I'd like to say hello to... Come again? You can't come on camera. You use a mic. All right, so I'll do my best to describe him. So you know what kind of person. Hey, Joel, why? Is there a constituency that doesn't know you are married and therefore you can't come on camera? All right. Will somebody please tell Joel he's a handsome young man? All right. All right. All right. Then Joel, you'll be on camera. And please put the camera on him and track him. And Joel is taking his seat, I'd like to say hello to a few people who are watching. Nebet from the U.S., Cecilia Yatel from U.S., Lordina from Takrade, Rosemond Boche from the U.S., Sadia, Washington, D.C., Welma, Maryland, Cynthia Nukunu, Gloria Tete, Rob Coyne. Are you sure you got that name right? Yeah, Rob. Oh, okay. Rob Coyne. Okay. Daniel Donko, Viva Adeko, Ekia, good afternoon. Gideon Edujemfi, Rosie Ampofo Bequin, Frank Asari, Qatar. So, Frank, it is saying Qatar. And then George Dogbe, Juliet Akapo, Mami Boudouin. Mami, we'll still talk. I know I owe you that time, so I haven't forgotten that. And then Amma Dufour. You are all welcome. And if I didn't acknowledge you, it's not because I did not appreciate your being on. From the gestures that Ephraim is making, I'm sure Ephraim wants me to understand that his wife is online. Tina, good afternoon. All right, now on your camera now is the handsome young man, Joel, our host whenever we come here. And Joel, to begin with, thank you very much for hosting us. You make us look forward to coming here every time. So thank you very much. And then you married a few months ago. Share with us one or two things that have pleasantly surprised you with marriage.
Okay, I think I've been put in a very tight corner, but I would see what I can
say.
That
you have 1 whole month to prepare. Okay, let's go.
I've not been married for long, but I've had some experiences in marriage. For me, my partner and I, we have a clear understanding. There is actually a clear understanding between us. So we really understand ourselves. So things are okay for me. Initially, before I got married, I heard some things that the first 6 months are kind of hectic because both parties are from different backgrounds and we are getting to know each other. So I was actually expecting those things, and I was actually also working hard at preventing those issues from happening. So in a way, for me, because I was expecting these things to happen, and I was also preparing against them too. So in a way, it became a positive thing for me. So I wasn't really experiencing a lot of issues. And before we got married, too, my wife was more of my best friend. Okay, so we became very good friends before we got married. So we don't hide any secrets from each other. We are open. She can take my phone and read messages. I also take hers at times, which is very dangerous, so, by the way. But at times I also read her messages and we just laugh off some of them, and it's kind of fun. So. And one thing I would also want to say is that when we have arguments, there's nothing like I want to win or she wants to win.
Great.
When we argue, it's like I make her understand that I'm not arguing to win because there is no win here.
Yes.
We are one.
Great.
Do you understand?
Great.
That's not the case that I want to prove a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I try as much as possible just to maybe if I have to compromise.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, if I have to give in so that both of us will be happy. Yeah. So some of these things we just do it to make the relationship work or to prevent issues. Because women, at times you have small fights, and when you try to be angry, then now there will be confusion in the home. And you as the man, you have to make sure that things are going well in the house.
Yeah.
So sometimes we just let these things go. And one thing is that in a marriage, for guys, I think what we should also notice that we are different people. A man and a woman, we are different. The way you would behave is not the same they would behave. So you have to be very patient and try and understand them. When that happens, you have a peaceful marriage. Okay.
All right. All right, now... wait. I would want all the unmarried young men here to go and salute him. Go on camera, shake his hands and salute him. Go on camera, shake his hands and salute him. And then...
We are proud of you. We are proud of you. We are very proud. We are proud of you. Central Association, we are proud of you.
No, Joel, I have always known that you're a wonderful young man, but the kind of insights you've given confirm why you are such a wonderful young man and such a joy to know you. I am proud of you, and I wish you and your wife the very best. And you always have my support. So if there's any need, don't hesitate to fall on me, and you'll be fine.
Thank you very much.
All right. And thank you for coming on camera. Shall we please acknowledge him? It takes a lot of courage, but next month we would have another MTN staff. This time, a lady, the beautiful, beautiful lady, who also is part of our team when we come here, and who also married recently. She'll be taking the hot seat, and then she'll be responding to Joel's perspectives from the women's side. So, well, all right. Thank you very much. Let's go if the questions are ready. Yes, let's go.
Okay, so Uncle Ebo, you're welcome once again to MTN House. I know you enjoy it anytime you come here.
We do.
And we even enjoy it better. As you can see, I have some colleagues here who are ready to ask some questions and also share some experiences with you. So let me go to the first question from Daniel Donko. He says, what does one do if a partner is not meeting your expectations? What does one do if a partner is not meeting your expectations?
What do you do when your partner is not meeting your expectations? Have a dialogue, have a discussion, talk, and also find out whether you are also meeting his or her expectations. Because it is not a one-way street. You are not the only one who came into this relationship with the expectations. Your partner also did. And if you are not meeting your partner's expectations, he also is not going to try and meet yours either. So have a discussion, find out what is happening, and then hopefully the two of you can make the necessary adjustment. Besides, don't forget that your expectations may be unrealistic. So in the discussion, be open-minded to really learn what is possible and what is not possible.
All right, Uncle. We want to say thank you to Jonathan, who is watching from the USA, a.k.a. area, Popo. And also thank you to Miss Safwa for joining us on YouTube. From Eunice in Atlanta. Uncle, is there any way you can sell your books on Amazon so that we out of Ghana can get a copy? Thank you.
The answer is yes, and it is overdue. And the question itself is making 3 people in-house shake right now, because it is their duty to make it happen, and they haven't done so. So shame to them.
My name is Amma. How can you make your husband your best friend or enhance the friendship? I have observed that he relates better with other people more than he does with me, his wife. He can easily say things for people to laugh than he does with me, his wife.
Wow. Well, for women, I'm hesitating to say it, but for women, listen, your husband will never be your best friend. He may be your most cherished friend, but not your best friend, in the sense of how much you can talk and to what extent you can go. So look for a best friend, and then keep your husband. But you can have an enriched relationship with him. Why is he more fun with others than with you? I do not know of your particular case, but what normally happens is that some wives tend to read too much into the statements their husband makes. So the man is being flippant about something, and the woman holds onto it and said, "Why did you say that? Why are you saying that?" And then he's hot. Now he has to explain himself. With these people, even if he makes a misstatement, he doesn't have to explain himself, and there will be no other consequences. And that is why it is easier for him to, for instance, oh, you've done Rasta. I like the Rasta. Oh, you mean you didn't like the gel I did last week? Then that becomes a whole new fight. And then you get to the point where he may not want to have that level of fight anymore. And so with you, he freezes up. With other people, he comes alive because he knows there are no consequences there. I think we have Sylvia in the hot seat. She's not going to tell us about her marriage, so she's going to make a contribution or ask a question. So, Sylvia, let's go.
Okay, thank you very much. Uncle Lebo, I want to find out on expectations.
Yes.
What is your assessment on the church's role in individuals getting married? As in, would you recommend that an individual, prospective couples do church counseling or a professional counseling? This is coming from the backdrop that you get into counseling, you are told a certain number of things, and then you get in there, and then about 70 or 80% is exactly not what you were told.
Okay. Sylvia, thank you very much. Churches provide support, and therefore, I would, if any couple has access to church, I would want them to continue and to explore it to the fullest and to make it and use it to the fullest possible extent. But there are question marks about the kind of counseling that some churches are providing. That doesn't mean that counseling is not important. Counseling is crucial and critical for a good marriage. Not just because of the apport they will give you before the marriage, but because it gives you another person the two of you can fall back on when you need a third party to help you sort things out. And that is why counseling is important. So you go for counseling, and when you finish counseling, don't cut off your counselor. Keep in touch with your counselor. The problem, however, is a situation where, because there must be counseling, and every church now accepts that it's important to have counseling, they decide that to use anybody for the counseling, even when the people don't know what they're talking about or are not being real about the issues of the marriage, even their own marriages. What I would recommend is that churches must not hesitate to reach out to whoever can provide the best counseling for their people. And if you can't find them, if the people are not available to counsel your people on a one-to-one basis, every now and then invite them to come to church and give them the pulpit so they can help enrich the marriages of members. And just because you're a pastor doesn't mean that you know how to marry. Indeed, in one program that was on Peace FM here in Accra, on the use of sex toys in marriage, the number of people contributed, the number of women who said they were using sex toys because their husbands were not meeting their needs, the surprising number of them were pastors' wives. So let's keep it real. I think that is the key thing. Counseling, but let's keep it real. Otherwise, don't do the counseling at all, because there's no point giving them false hope and false expectations. All right, let's go on.
Okay, we have Evelyn Careful and Kingsley watching us, as well as Dusty Bling, Raphael Donko, Neiman Chegaspa, and Bob Schmuda. Uncle, please, how do I get my husband to read materials on marriage or discuss issues that arises from our marriage? He always reads meaning into the materials rather than learning from them. There's no passion in the marriage. Honestly, I have done all that is expected of me. No, I love you. Even if I say it, he doesn't answer.
Wow.
No hugging, no kissing for 16 years. But thank God, aside these things, he is a perfect gentleman and doesn't want these to become a bigger issue in our marriage. This is from Janet.
Janet, why? 16 years is a long time to go without your emotional needs being met. And that was what I was talking about. Your husband does not appreciate the fact that marriage is an emotional relationship and that there are emotional needs to be met. How do you get him? Well, look for who he respects the most and see whether you can get that person to invite the two of you for a meal. And then get that person to engineer the conversation so he could ask you, so how are things working in your marriage? Let them make it as non-threatening as possible. And then use the opportunity to bring up some of these things so that it helps him. Marriage is an emotional thing. Let's meet the emotional needs. Otherwise, we'll have issues. We'll have serious issues.
Uncle, when you speak of emotions for women, can you explain more? Because sometimes my wife complains about me not understanding her.
That's Kwesi, right? Kwesi. That's welcome to the club. I don't think there's any married man whose wife does not say that you don't understand me. But that doesn't mean we don't make the effort. Of course, we can never understand them. We can never understand them primarily because they themselves don't understand themselves. But that doesn't mean that ignore them. Talk with your wife. Find out why she says you don't get her. And listen when she's talking with you. Because sometimes you think you are listening, but you are not quite listening. And then see whether you can't make some headway. But remember, if you take into consideration the question that came just before yours, Akwesi, you would understand what it means to be emotionally invested in your marriage. The physical touch must be there. The fun games must be there. Listening to her, that kind of thing. Those are very, very important in your marriage.
Okay, so we have another one here. Good afternoon, Uncle. Please, my husband has a habit of insulting me and my entire family. anytime there's an argument between us. Secondly, he says what he hates about me is I expect preferential treatment from him, but I should know that I'm just like anybody he meets on the streets, and that being his wife doesn't make a difference. Uncle, truly he treats me ordinary too, and sometimes compliments people in my presence when he's never passed a compliment about me before. Please advise me. The person wants to stay anonymous.
I am quiet because I am upset. I'm upset because I can't say to your husband what I should say because we are on camera. It is not right for any man to insult his wife. Not right. It is not right for any man to tell his wife that you are no different to me than any other person I meet on the street. Then she is not wife and you are not husband. You don't understand the relationship you are involved in if you say your wife is not different to you than any other person. Your wife is your queen. She must mean much more to you than anybody else, or you are not husband. I'm sorry. I think if I say more, I'll cross the line. I am so upset. So upset. So upset. Well, guys, let's take a break, please. I need to cool down. I need to get this thing off my mind because I am so upset. What do you mean insulting someone?
Madina, Madam, Aula,
Be your own DJ with MTN Music Plus. Download and install the MTN Music Plus app from Google Play Store and stream your customized playlist anytime, anywhere. MTN Music Plus. Just press play.
MTN. I'm sorry, I know I have not been professional with this. But when it comes to these things, I refuse to be professional. You can't treat someone's daughter anyhowly. Neither can you treat somebody's son anyhowly. We should understand that the degree to which you treat your spouse with respect is the degree to which life will bless you. The degree to which you treat your wife with respect is a degree to which you experience blessings in this life. So if you don't want blessings in your life, then continue disrespecting your wife. But I hope you grow. You outgrow this and become a much better person. You are not a man if you can't speak politely to your wife. You are not a man if you cannot speak with respect with your wife. You are not a man. You are not. All right, we'll go to Bernard and Asai. Is that it? If it is Asari, then somebody doesn't know how to spell. All right, so let's go.
Okay. Thank you very much, Uncle Ebo.
All right.
And in asking a question on expectations.
Yes.
Does expectation have any kind of linkage with regards to status? Let's say you want to get married or you are married and you find out that you are educated and your wife, the highest form of education was maybe JHS or SHS. How does you relate to such a partner in marriage so that you are able to meet the expectation? Because your level of understanding is different from hers.
All right. No. The interesting thing and the good thing about life is that when the advantage in education or social status is on the side of the man, the marriages work because women are so intelligent. They catch up with you. They close the gap very quickly. It is when the advantage is on the side of the woman. In other words, when the woman is the one who is more exposed and more educated, that is where the issues come. Because it is not that easy for men to close the gap. So, yes, initially, yes, you may have issues because your perspective is not like hers. But if there's love and if you are patient with her, you'll be amazed at how quickly she will grow and how quickly she will become the kind of wife you deserve, no matter what your status is. So thank you very much, Bernard.
Final question.
All right, you are inside here, so I can't stop you. And this is your house.
On marriage being an emotional relationship.
Yes.
I mean, I was reading an article and it was stating that almost 50% of women do not have an enjoyable sex in terms of climax. How does sex help to increase or meet the emotional expectations of marriage? And how should couples clearly communicate to each other about their
Bernard,
sexual
the statistics is wrong. The statistics of the number of women who don't reach their climax, the person who wrote the article did not know what he's talking about. It is more like 80%. No, it's 100. Oh, thank God it's 100. Thank God it's 100. Thank God it's 100. At least my case is not part of it. I'm not part of it. So that's why I know it is 100% because that's why I know it is 100% because I'm your cry. Oh, Charlie. But Bernard, women don't talk sex; they talk intimacy. Sex is only a small part of what is intimacy, and that is what women look for. They are looking for intimacy, not sex. A woman can have a great relationship with you and feel happy with you even when there's no sex. And thank God that is so. Because by the time you are 80, you may not be able to stand at attention anymore. So thank God that it is about intimacy and not about sex. All right, shall we go on?
We have Hetty Azaso also tuned in, and he says, Uncle, this is a good topic. Thank you.
Welcome. There's a question.
Yes.
All right. So let's take a question there. The voice you're going to hear is a voice who was with us last month. She doesn't want to go on camera, and she's so beautiful I can't force her on camera. But we'll be bossing her. We'll be talking with her next month when we come. We'll make her put on her Christmas best so we can put her on camera. So yeah, go.
From Sylvia.
No, wait. There is an in-house question. Oh, she's coming on camera now?
No, she's not coming on camera.
All right, okay. All right, so, okay, go. Ask a question.
Uncle.
Yeah.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, you too. Good afternoon, Sam.
When you were talking about your expectation downwards, you said something about when you use certain words on your husband as a response, you shouldn't use it onto other person. That side, I'm very guilty about it. I call everybody dear sweetheart. My husband to the same thing. And I want to find out, in marriage, when you are fond of sharing certain pictures, I mean certain pictures with your husband, and you pass comment and laugh over it, is it a crime?
What kind of pictures?
I mean, you understand what I'm talking
No,
about?
I don't. So, certain pictures like what? Like pornographic pictures? Or nude pictures?
Sorrow. I mean, any pictures.
Any pictures, and then making a comment about it.
And laughing.
And laughing.
Yes.
So, okay, so you show your husband a man in the nude and say, look at his valuable assets. You know, what are you trying to tell your husband? He doesn't have valuable assets. I'm happy that you and your husband can have fun, and I hope you can just keep it at the clean fun. So I won't stop you from having the fun, but please, if you're calling everybody sweetheart, look for another name to call him. And it can be anything. We can make anything look charming and romantic. Even kinky can be romantic, except that he must not hear you use that word for anybody else. All right, thank you very much.
Okay, Uncle, we have Nisaki, and he's asking, Uncle, I love you. Is it a question or a statement?
Only Nisaki would ask this question. Only Nisaki will have a question. It depends. It depends. It depends on a lot of things. Sometimes it is a statement. Sometimes it is an affirmation. Sometimes it is a manipulation. Sometimes it is a plea. So it depends on the context and who is saying it to you.
Okay, so we have another question from Juliet Akapo. She says, hi, Uncle.
Hi.
Please, does it constitute disrespect to your husband when you involve your counselor in discussing and helping to resolve an issue that both of you cannot reach a middle ground on?
No, it is not. It is not. And I encourage that. Except that I hope the counselor will be mature in handling what you tell him or her. The problem is that a lot of men, when they are not doing well in their marriages, will tell you, I don't want anyone to know what is going on in our marriages, because they don't want to lose face with people. So counselors must always be sensitive in the way they approach what wives tell them about what is going on in their marriages, and use a lot of wisdom in helping them resolve what is going on. But it is not disrespect for you to bring your counselors into the picture.
Okay, we have Rosie Bekwe here. She says, Uncle Ebo, this is my best Encore session so far. God bless you.
Thank you. It would be interesting to know why it's your best thing. Is it because I lost it on camera?
Uncle, from Asiwome Chacha Kojo. Uncle Ebo, I'm watching you live with my wife in New York City. It is chilly, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. And my thing say time for job. But wifey is denying me. Should we continue listening to you and let the feeling go?
The fact that you can ask this question in the presence of your wife tells me that you are having a wonderful relationship out there. And I continue to pray for you that the two of you will continue to enjoy each other. Now, don't worry. Let her watch this, and after it, she will shock you with the show she will do for you. So take it easy, okay? Just enjoy the show.
Okay, we have Mameya. She says, Uncle, what does it mean when your husband, who says you two should live individual lives, is suddenly becoming nice to you? What do? Do you play along or?
If you love the relationship and you want the relationship to continue, then play along with him, and then as soon as it is appropriate, ask him, young man, what went on? Why did you ask us to live our individual lives, and why are you coming back? Sometimes he may be coming back just because, men have a sexual cycle. For some, it's a week. For others, every fortnight. For others, every month. What it means that when that cycle comes around, he's all over you, because he wants something. It passes, and he gets what he wants. A new cycle begins, and he doesn't want to talk to you until the cycle comes around again. So find out, is this the case? Is this part of the men's his sexual cycle? Because if it is, then what happens is that he's becoming sweet now. As soon as you give him what he wants, then he withdraws again, and then leaves you bitter and upset all over. So, but for now, you play along, and then as soon as you give him what he wants, have a chat with him. Don't let him sleep. Have a discussion with him, so that you understand exactly what's going on. All right, we have somebody in the hot seat, so let's go.
Uncle Eborite, what's your reaction to this statement? Your in-laws are not your friends.
It is a good statement. but they can be, depending on whether they want it and how you work it. But never forget that your in-laws are not on your side. They are on their sons or their daughter's side. So when you're approaching them, approach them with a little bit more wisdom, because they are not allied to you. Their allegiance is with their child. So just understand that one. But yes, they don't need to be your friends for you to have a fantastic relationship. If they are, wonderful. If they are not, it doesn't spoil anything. Just the two of you, make sure you protect the relationship and it works well.
Uncle, about keeping things from your partner, how do you keep opening up to your partner if he keeps using your issues against you?
If he keeps using your issues against you, then shut up. Don't tell him anything. Or don't tell her anything. Because he's showing himself or herself not worthy of the confidence you repose in him or in her.
From TK. Uncle, please, how do you manage an extremely emotional girlfriend? The little arguments, she is moody.
You call it a little argument, too. Yeah, for her, it is the end of the world. It's a whole tsunami. She will grow. She's still growing. She's still learning. It is possible that she hasn't had that many relationships. And don't forget that she may also be coming with all kinds of baggage from previous relationships or from certain experiences. Be patient with her. She will grow.
Okay, Uncle, we have Delali Esi I am here. And she's asking, hi, Uncle Ebo.
Hi.
Please, what are the steps to take to become a marriage counselor in Ghana?
Wow, I honestly don't know. No, I'm not being flippant. I really don't know. I don't know. I do not know of a course that people take. I really do not know. But I also think that if anybody undertakes a study on himself or by himself, and also is prepared to learn from his own experiences and is prepared to be real with his own experiences, I think that person stands a good chance of being a counselor.
Uncle from Mariama. Uncle, please, when will you have a session on how to deal with in-laws?
There's a second in-law question, so I think it is begging to be done. So I have noted it, and very soon we'll attend to it. Is there any question? Let's go.
It's a compliment from Christy Okansi. So she says, thanks so much for this program. You have helped clear a lot of misconceptions I had. Wow, I feel so free now. Thanks so much, Uncle Ebo.
I'm happy to hear that. This is why we do this.
Uncle from Kabute Okansi. I think when we become in-laws ourselves, we will understand ours better. Only it will likely be too late. Greetings all.
Long John Silver. Long John Silver, we miss you, so hurry up and come. And my regards to your wife and your wonderful daughter. Oh yes, and how's your leg healing anyway? I hope it does well. Next time, when you're going to play soccer with young people, just remember your age. Just remember your age. All right, let's go. All right. I think that brings us to the end of our questions. Today we were able to look at 4 E words. We looked at expectations, we looked at experience, we looked at exclusivity, and we looked at emotions. God willing, on next Friday at 12:30 GMT, we'll continue with this series because I wanted to see how many letters we'll cover in September. We haven't covered that many. We have covered just the first 5 letters. And there are a lot of other letters that, there are actually 21 letters left. So let's give it another month and see how far we can go. I'd like to thank you for making the investment in your data. I'd like to thank Ebenezer and his MTN crew for hosting us in their beautiful edifice. I'm always excited when we have to come here. I'd like to thank all those who join us from MTN. I appreciate the fact your coming here gives a certain energy to the presentation. No wonder somebody said this is the best presentation they've had because of your support and your input, and we appreciate that. And then remember, this Sunday, for those of you in Accra, my play, The Comeback, runs at the National Theatre, 3 p.m. for students, 8 p.m. for 7:30 p.m. for adults. There will be some discount tickets available. Just call the WhatsApp number that you had. Communicate with us, and then we'll get back to you. To the team that have worked hard and worked so hard, I realize I don't acknowledge all of them. So thank you very much to my team, the Rover team. May God bless and keep you. May the coming days bring you more fulfillment and joy. And may the things that bring unhappiness in your relationship be swept away. May there be understanding and harmony. May your relationships be sweet. And not just your relationships. May your careers prosper. May your children be blessed and become a blessing. And God bless Ghana, and God bless you. Thank you for joining us.
MTN Mobile Money, you can take your bank with you everywhere you go. Dial *170# and follow the prompts. Connect your bank account to your mobile money wallet to load and transfer money between your wallet and your bank account. Take your bank with you everywhere you go with MTN Mobile Money.
What else you take away? No.
Experience the new world of better money.
4G is non-stop music. It's sharing and entertainment without buffering. It's gaming with no lag and movies with full immersion. 4G is business without restrictions. It's also smarter money. It's learning beyond borders. Achievement without limits. And health for everyone. It's love, family, joy, and everything else. 4G is life. Get a 4G device today and live on the next level. MTN 4G. Hello, future.
MTN. Everywhere you go.